I got in the conversation with the guys that I needed to talk to. Of course, it was an investment on my part, but I knew is that just playing it right is going to give me the dividends I need. And I didn't just stop there, because also what I realized is that, because my dad told me this, he said, okay, Jaguar, no, you're balling, okay. And so what I do is that, I was like, okay, well, now I bought this car, I need to utilize it more than just get in a conversation with people. I need to use it as a marketing tool. I said, what do you mean? I said, you don't want to know. So I went and I striped my car. Like, you don't do that. It's like, putting a sticker on the lamp, right? So I go and I stripe this car, and my dad, he just wants to, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, hold that thought. The reason I striped my Jaguar with my URL is that because I realized, okay, my key target market for this food tour, right? What I do is I food tour, right? And I need tourists. These are my customers. And I know all the tourists, you've seen it, right? Where do they hang out? They usually go to the royal castle, they want to see the queen, they're changing all the guards. I was like, this is where they all hang out. And I was like, who lives at the castle? The king lives at the castle, right? They want to go see a glimpse of the king. So what I did is I striped my Jaguar, and every morning for 6 months, I took this car and I drove it and I parked it across the castle. Right by like a zebra crossing, like the most illegal parking you could ever do. Because I knew like when you're at the castle and you look down on the other side, you're gonna see a car parked there. Think like, who is this guy who thinks he's owned this place? And I knew I was gonna get a ticket every single day. Of course I did. For 6 months I got a ticket every single day. And a ticket is 800 kroners. And I knew that one customer who pays for my food tour pays 1,000 kroner. So I said, like, all I need to do is just get one customer per day, just by standing here, to pay off my ticket, and the second customer is a profit, right? Because I knew that's what all they hang out. They stand in the castle, take pictures, and turn around. I was like, what is this morning doing? Food tour, what is that? Google it. So I did that for 6 months, on end, no stop. And that's how I propelled my business. To take back the, all of my savings that I did to buy the car, came back in 6 months, and obviously got on board to grow my business.
Wow.
Exactly. Just using it. This is one of the examples. I'll give you another one. So I'm doing this. I'm all happy in life. I'm eating food for a living. Life is all good. And then I get into a conversation with this older gentleman, white guy, and we start talking. And he's not even talking to me. He's talking to somebody else. But again, by like realizing and listening. So he says, it's very interesting. You rarely find minority people who operate in, what did he say? The secretary said, sustainability. He said, have you noticed that? And I perked up and I listened. He said, you rarely find minorities in areas of sustainability, right? Sustainability is really an agenda that's driven by natives or white people, right? Shell Sotera, all that, looking about the planet. It's like, you rarely find minorities in this area. And I found this very peculiar. I said, he's probably right. I didn't know that, but he's probably right. I don't know what he's talking about. So I got into the conversation. I was like, expand on that. He's like, no, we start talking and said, you seem like a nice guy, but no offense. Like, this is usually what happens, right? When minorities make it, they want to ball out, buy new sneakers, hey, but you rarely kind of put effort into the environment. So I went home and this really stuck with me. And I said, here's another opportunity for me to stand out from the crowd. So of course, you know what I do? I go and I get the feeling that I'm just going to start making the most sustainable bicycle that's ever done by man.
Wow.
And the reason I did this, because obviously I was already operating in tourism, right? And when I speak with my customers, I usually ask them, why did you choose Stockholm as a destination? I'm very curious. They usually say, we've heard it's safe, check. Lovely blondes, check. And they say, it's very sustainable. Everyone said this, like, yeah, we've heard Sweden is a very sustainable country. But I was like, what does it mean? It's like, I don't know, I just read it somewhere, right? So I said, all of my customers know that it's sustainable. Nobody knows what it means. I said, what can I do with it? So I said, okay, I'm gonna start an experience called the Sustainable Stockholm Tour, where we're gonna ride on bicycles and just go visit all the sustainable places. And I'm gonna do it on the most sustainable bike ever made. So I found this company in Greece and I said, we're just gonna make wooden bikes. And the reason again I did this because I knew there was nobody else who looks or talks like me who's gonna be doing this. Just because of that comment he said, there are no minorities there. Well, now you have one. So of course, when I did that, what happens? All the media wants to talk about you. This is, there's like, whoa, this is different. This is, who are you? Why are you doing this? How much does it cost? What's the profit margin? They want to talk about you. All of a sudden, going back to that, I got a platform, right? They're noticing me, now it's up to me to say something worth for them to listen to. So we started what we call the Wood and Bike Tour, and the whole idea was just bike ride in Stockholm and experience the most sustainable places there are there. And everywhere I go, they're like, oh, we're surprised, we didn't know you were black. Oh, they heard about the tour, but they would never expect me to be the one driving it. So of course, this was another thing that propelled me into accelerating getting free customers, just because of the fact that I look different. Then they want to do the tour. It's like, whoa, why are you a person who cares about nature? Why shouldn't I be? I mean, we all come from countries that just nature. But just again, myself